Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I am Rishi Harinan and C News is live at noon. Topping the news at this time, a shootout with police and suspected bandits in the Carapo area this morning. One of the bandits was shot and killed. At around 5:40, a family of two children, or family with two children, were preparing for school and work. It's reported that one of the children, a 13-year-old, went to the car to place her school bag when she was accosted by three armed men. The men are said to have forced the teen inside and proceeded to tie up the family members. The assailants reportedly ransacked the home, relieving them of several items before fleeing in two cars owned by the family. Police were contacted and officers on patrol in the area responded. They intercepted the vehicle on the Carapo bridge. The suspects allegedly opened fire on the officers. The officers retaliated. One of the suspects was fatally hit. And four men were arrested just after carrying out an armed robbery on an elderly couple at Barataria on Tuesday. According to police, the victims, aged 67 and 77, were at their 4th Street Barataria home at around 11:30 a.m. when three men, one armed with a knife, entered the premises and announced a hold-up. The men proceeded to rob the couple of cash and jewelry with a total value of $13,530. Police said while the suspects were seeking to make their escape, one of the victims managed to put through a call to 999, initiating an immediate response from officers. Three men, a 19-year-old of Toko, a 26-year-old of Tunapuna, and a 43-year-old also of Tunapuna, were arrested on the compound of the couple's home. A fourth man, a 26-year-old of Tunapuna, who was found sitting in a silver Tida, which was parked close to the victim's home, was also arrested. Police suspect he was the getaway driver. The men are expected to be placed on several identification parades today in connection with similar offences in other divisions. An investigation has been launched into a murder. The victim has been identified as Everton Moses. The 35-year-old was killed at around 8:30 last evening. Reports say officers responded to explosions at Sea View Drive, Marabella. When they arrived, they found Moses lying on the roadway. Investigators said 30 spent shells were discovered at the scene. Moses, a father of one, was an employee of the Housing Development Corporation. He lived at Bayshore in Marabella. Well, greater imagination is needed to deal with crime. This from criminologist Renee Cummings, as she said, the military strategies are outdated and simply a waste of money.
And that lack of imagination and creative and critical and divergent thinking continues to limit our approaches. And it creates that knowledge gap that contributes to the high homicide, high crime rate, and the inability of law enforcement to solve homicides at a faster rate.
She said those charged with fighting crime need to understand it before they can fix the problem.
If they don't understand the dynamics and the interdisciplinary and the integrated aspects of homicide, how are they going to do it? So you need more than police, you need more than the military, you need your criminologist, your criminal psychologist, your forensic psychologist, your forensic pathologist, your coroners, medical examiners, investigators, but we lack all of those things.
7 male Venezuelan nationals and 2 Trinidadians have been arrested by police for possession of marijuana, a gun and ammunition. Reports say at around 5:25 p.m. on Tuesday, members of the Northern Division Task Force East and Arima CID executed a search warrant at a house on Madras Road, Cunupia, where they found and seized one Glock pistol with 7 rounds of .40 caliber ammunition, a quantity of marijuana, and police seized a bulletproof vest. Police are continuing their investigations. This is the C News Live report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at C News Live. Well, police have also found and seized a Walter pistol and a magazine containing 2 rounds of .40 ammunition. This was done during an anti-crime exercise in Laventille on Tuesday afternoon. Police say between 12:55 p.m. and 3:45 p.m. they were conducting an exercise in the Macshine area when they went to an abandoned house. It is there they made the find. No one was arrested. There's some other news now. The Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha has sent an official letter to the Attorney General proposing a legal challenge to the Miscellaneous Provisions Marriage Bill 2016. The letter was signed by Attorney Asaf Hussein.
The letter to the AG states in order to properly assess the challenge to the Miscellaneous Provisions Marriage Bill of 2016, the SDMS is requesting 8 sets of documents from the Office of the Attorney General. They include copies of any or all policy statements of Cabinet and or the Ministry of the Attorney General in relation to the bill. It also wants copies of all documents and or opinions which were provided to the AG during consultation with stakeholders. The religious body is also asking for copies of legal advice or opinions received in relation to the constitutionality and or lawfulness of the subject bill amending marriageable age of existing laws in Trinidad and Tobago. The SDMS General Secretary Sat Maraj has criticized the government for this bill, saying it infringes on the rights of people to practice their religion freely. Mr. Maraj had also stated his intention to take legal action if need be. The AG had responded to this by saying if he decides to take the issue to court, the state will be ready to deal with the challenge. As such, attorney Asraf Hussein, on behalf of his client, said he expects an early response to their request. The bill was passed on Friday with all 35 members of parliament who were present voting for it. Once proclaimed, the legal marriage age will be 18 years across all sectors. Stacey Ann Providence, C News.
Parents of students attending the Preysal Gov't Primary School are planning a major demonstration on Friday as they say the school has been forced to close due to an infestation and sewer problems. One parent, Chelsea Nunes, said the children's lives are at risk.
The sewer, number one, it have a really bad scent, and the children just cannot stay in the school, and every time the sewer act up, they have to send the children home from school, and this has been happening quite a while now. So maybe 3 years and more now, so. And then the school was being built in 2014, and they stopped the project. So, and the children, they will be well heated, it have rats, it have snakes, they don't have anywhere to play, and the percentage I heard it dropped a lot, so it's really, really bad.
She described the situation as frustrating.
We want the school closed down, shut down, and we want to get the other school built. We want that school built out, and we want the children to move from the Preysal Primary School to the community center. We make a lot of pleas and calls, and nobody responded to any of our calls, so we have to start doing something now. We got to get something done. Parents set up, and they decided to protest.
Now here's Ian Wallace with your afternoon weather.
The wet season carries on, and so far for the month of June, the rain gauge is half full, 130 millimeters so far at Piarco, with a monthly average of 250 millimeters. Today we'll likely still see a few rain clouds, especially across Tobago, and a couple of showers may still turn heavy or thundery towards the north. We should be seeing some patches of brightness from time to time in between those showers. Look for possibility of street or flash flooding and gusty winds in those heavier bursts. It should feel pleasant today. No higher than 32 degrees Celsius in Trinidad, 31 degrees Celsius in Tobago. For mariners, look for east-southeasterly winds of 10 to 15 knots, with wind waves of 1.5 to 2 meters and easterly swells of 8 seconds. Low tide at 1 p.m. is followed by a high tide at 8 p.m. That's the latest weather, and I am meteorologist Ian Wallace.
The General Secretary of the Maxi Taxi Association, Elias Dick, believes the new show of solidarity amongst the various unions will last. On Tuesday, the Joint Trade Union Movement and the National Trade Union Center said they will be collaborating to march on Labor Day as they stand together to send a message to employers and the state. Mr. Elias told Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago the arrangement will last because there is need to preserve the working class.
This is not something that will just go through the wind, by the wind. This is something that is going to last because the workers, the working class in Trinidad and Tobago is being attacked. The working class to the level of even the media workers are being attacked at this present time. We look back and we see so many things happening in our society, but the owners, the business personnel, they're not taking any cut in anything. They want to cut the working class.
Well, as we prepare to commemorate Labor Day on Monday, unions are saying it's not just about money for the workers, but it's about a balance and fairness for all parties involved.
You cannot want to have huge profits of 500% profit, and the workers get 0, 0, 0, 0. We must concern about our work. That's the resources of our country, the human resources of our country.
Mr. Dick said most workers get up and leave their family to go to work.
the owners, they sit by, have a huge profit, and the workers benefit nothing. Look at the steel workers. We have somebody that came into Trinidad and Tobago, exploit the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and then leave the shores, and these workers is at a loss.
The unions have renewed the call for legislation to protect the workers, as they say they are not getting the support required. Energy consultant Conrad Enel is not giving up on state-owned Petrotrin just yet. He believes the company can turn around its fortunes. He says the company possesses a lot of assets and acreages that give it the ability to contribute to the country's economy. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley on Sunday said government will be seeking to implement the recommendations of the committee that was set up to look into Petrotrin. Mr. Enel, a former energy minister, explains what he sees as a setback.
The problem is that its cost structure doesn't allow it to contribute in the way that it should, and therefore in some instances it is a drain.
But he feels there's hope for the state-owned oil company and draws on the example of the First Citizens Bank.
I would recall that some time ago within the banking system, you took three banks that were in difficulty, you put them together, you removed the debt, and you created an entity, and today that entity is called FCB.
Police have not arrested anyone in connection with the robbery of Father Clyde Harvey. Images of three men have been circulating on social media saying they were detained as investigations into the incident, which took place on Monday, continues. A video has also surfaced showing three men standing in front of a desk of what appeared to be a police station. However, senior officers of the Port of Spain division said no arrests had been made in relation to the investigation. Well, Roman Catholic priest Father Robert Christo says people like Father Clyde Harvey are not immune to crime because they are on the battlefield on a regular basis.
Those criminals and us criminals, we all do things on the streets illegal, broken, and they are our brothers and sisters, and they may have come from our churches, and they may be my family and your family, and we have to deal with it. And my ministry, can I deal with them? Can I call them and can we talk? What's happening? They're human beings, and they deserve, every single human being deserves dignity and a hearing.
He said help is needed for those who commit criminal acts.
We are in the homes, we are in the abortion clinics, we are in the sex workers on the streets. That's what the spirituality have to be. It just can't be in the Bible, and it cannot be in the chapel only. We go to prison. I mean, that's the corporal works and spiritual works of mercy. It's what we claim. We have to get out there and get involved. You know, it just can't be adoring and seeing and consuming. You have to be participating in building this body. One day I'll be broken, next day you'll be broken.
Turning to horse racing now, where Wilma Galvez put in another incredible shift aboard St. Honey to pull off an incredible win ahead of the likes of Black Onyx and the determined Mafia Man, who was threatening to steal the race himself.
Past the 400 to the top of the stretch, it's still Mafia Man. Mafia Man still there. War Brigade trying to sneak through the inside. St. Honey up on the outside, throwing down the challenge now. It's Mafia Man from St. Honey who now sticks a nose in front. St. Honey, Mafia Man going with her. War Brigade down toward the inside. Black Onyx coming on now into third, but it's St. Honey who jumps in front. Here she is in front and drawing away St. Honey to take it here. St. Honey, well ridden by Wilma Galvez, wins by 2. Maybe Black Onyx for a second from Mafia Man. War Brigade fourth. 1:36.3 the running time.
That's it for sport. Well, that brings us to the end of the C News Report at noon. I'm Rishi Harinan, and remember, for up-to-date and breaking news throughout the day, you can visit our website at ctvtt.com. Have a good afternoon.